Hmm. Man. Live. Oh shit, did I finally fix it? Hot diggity dog. Oh shit, did I finally fix it? Finally. Fuck. God damn. Can y'all hear me all right? Can y'all hear me? I think I finally managed to fix this shit. Let's go. Now, I figured out part one. Finally got the OBS to work. For part two, I need to find out how to do motherfucking Hangouts. I guess I'm not a complete and utter dumbass as I thought. Oh my god, final fucking lead. So let's pull up Google Hangouts here and let's have ourselves a goddamn motherfucking discussion. You dig? Alright. Alright. Also, welcome everybody. We got 11 people here. Thank God for sticking with me. Kaido and Big Mom about to have makeup sex, more anal. What are y'all talking about? Y'all motherfuckers are nasty. Ay, ay, ay. Y'all need Jesus. Benny Hap, Jump. Oh, oh. Let's get into Hangouts here, and I'm gonna send the link out to folks. Who's here? Who's here? Ferger, you just figure till him comes. Who's him? Bet. Why? What? What? Why are y'all talking about anal sex in the chat? What are y'all on? Like, what are y'all being dirty? I'm having trouble finding Google Hangouts. Well, I have it. I got it. This pick is mid. Hemmings is a hater, fam. If we had more anal sex in the world, it would be more peaceful. Yeah, they deleted Hangouts, but I'm making my own, boy. Moderate. He made a group called Ready to Go. Fag. Why am I having so much trouble with this? All right, fixed it. Time to get this link. Uh, let's see. Let's get the link to Madara. Virgo, what you think about Vinland Saga? I have never read or watched Vinland Saga, but Maybe one day in the near future. I don't know yet. That definitely could be a thing. Skateboo. Let's get Madawa in here. How y'all doing today, though, chat? Y'all got here fast as hell. A BDA Law minion, you got me fucked up. I am no minion, sir. Oh shit! I gotta hit Miraz with the link. Speaking of, who that is?
Yo,
Madara?
that's Madara.
Are you just low for me, or what's going on?
Let me see. I shouldn't be low. I'm still low.
Well, those new hangouts won't let me fucking adjust your volume.
Yeah, you. Give me 1 second. I'm ordering something.
Can y'all hear Madara? Can y'all hear Madara? He's low? Okay. Let's crank you up, Madara. Let me send you the link as well, Naya. If it doesn't work out, I might just do Discord. We'll see.
Am I still low?
A little bit. Can you think you can adjust your own volume at all, or no?
That's gonna be on your end, bro. My volume's all the way up.
I definitely got you turned all the way up. Hold on. Let me see if the same thing happens when somebody else joins or if it's just you. So I'm gonna go to my Hangouts, Mixer. Yo, say something. Madara.
Yes, sir.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, fixed it.
All right, cool.
Now we're litty, two big titties. You have a mixer burger still low. What? It shouldn't be low. Should be good. I hear you much louder than before.
Uh-huh.
No, it's not reverb, nigga. Let's see. I'm sure you have a lot to say about the chapter, bro.
Of course. That's where I've been telling niggas to calm down. Oda's building up.
I'm saying, why is Hans's name on Discord hater got raped? What is wrong with these niggas?
He probably lost a bet. You know how dudes always be doing those stupid name
This
bets
is wild. Nah.
on Discord.
Oda's making fun of haters, so it's probably not a bet. Can someone give Virgo a new favorite character? Absolutely not.
Yep.
Hemmings?
Yep.
I'm just gonna go with yes. It is.
What's back here?
Shit, chilling. Being a villain. Finally got this shit to work. I'm not as much of an ape as I thought.
It really it's just a time thing, to be honest. Put the time in, you'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I put 3 hours worth, so there's that.
That's what I did. That's what I did on Sunday. Was it Sunday or was it Monday for OBS? Like I got the shit bumping, bro.
Lit.
I did my first one today, but I did through Discord. I didn't use Hangouts.
Oh shit! Hold on. You did through Discord?
Yeah.
Wait, can you speak one more time for me?
Me? Yo, Hawkins the GOAT.
I'm just trying to get rid of that reverb.
My mic?
Hawkins is the go. Oh, not on everyone.
Oh, okay.
Because Kako said we sound like we run on cola.
It's not my job to make the audio pop. It's your job.
I know. All right. Madara.
Yo.
You were the first here. You got first take. Let me hear it.
All right, man. The chapter was nothing but hype. Basically, from the midpoint to the end. The beginning was a nice setup. It was a nice chill chat between Sanji and Shinobu. How they were talking about how they really don't need anything else out of the capital until it's time to actually fight.
Mm-hmm.
But we obviously know that they're going to probably end up getting those soldiers out. Simply because they said it's around 1,000 men. And with Gyukimaru, who he's based off of, Benkei, he's said to have 1,000 weapons. So that kind of goes like hand in hand.
So that's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. It matches up with that perfectly. Obviously, no Luffy this chapter, which was kind of nice, honestly.
It was kind of nice.
I kind of really enjoyed it, not having Luffy in this chapter. But, I mean, obviously, everything that we got with Law and like Hawkins, I wonder what Law's plan is. He has to have a plan. He wouldn't just give himself up for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Plan involved. Otherwise, it's just wild for him. I mean, that was dope. Beppo and them trying to come up with the plan because it is their captain. So I guess they're themselves are going to try to get him out. But I mean, that was nice. So we basically got a send off for Sanji, Nami, and all of them. We don't know exactly where they're going, but obviously they're going somewhere. Then we got the thing with Kinemon, Narashi, and Ashura-doji, how they were talking about the ships. Obviously, that's what Frankie's going to be doing, is fixing up the ships for the attack on Onigashima. And obviously, the highlight of the whole chapter for me,
of course,
and probably for almost everybody, was that one of them was King, because we've been talking about these different races. This honestly does open up the whole moon aspect. This opens up the clan of D.
Hashtag we need a moon arc.
Exactly. This opens up the possibility that the D's were originally one of the 3 tribes from the moon. Since King is one of the last, if not the last, of his race, that Big Mom wants, and he's like, it was cool. He seemed to be the only one not really shook by Big Mom. He's kind of like, I thought I killed this girl, but here she is alive and well.
I swear I pushed her into the water.
Exactly. He's like, man,
I could have sworn.
Her in one hit. Like, why is she still alive? But that was dope, and obviously the clash between Big Mom and Kaido. I mean, that right there, pure hype. If I could give it a pure hype rating, it's like a 10 out of 10. But if I give it a chapter rating, it's about 9 out of 10.
Yeah, when I originally looked at it, I didn't think that it was a 10 out of 10 because I feel like it was given out too easily. And then I was just like, you know what? It's actually a pretty fire chapter. I give it a 9 out of 10. I probably should have given it a 10 out of 10. I'm not really sure why I'm reluctant about it. Because everything in it was very good for me, especially you seeing, like, there's so many things, like, with, then you get the rocks, like, talking about how, like, oh, just like old times with Big Mom.
This is what I'm talking about when I say I like when chapters are efficient. It was a mixture of good jokes, a lot of good movement, progression, and it was all in one chapter. This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it did its thing.
I need more of this.
There were no wasted panels.
And there it is.
No wasted panels. They said Naya sounds like he's underwater. Fuck! I'm trying to fix this fucking audio. What's up, Lucid?
Nothing much. I'm just saying, there's never wasted panels in this story.
That isn't true.
No. It's
Drago
so
calling
you
me dark Naya. Is it just Naya or is it all of us?
It's so true that Oda wouldn't even waste the panel on a good fight, like Akainu versus Akiji.
Wait, what did what? Wait, something wrong with my audio?
Yeah, you just sound a lot deeper than the rest of us.
Oh,
Virgo, am I right or am I right?
It's doing the
Hello,
very thing.
guys.
You're right in that one sense, but not entirely.
Yo, you invite Eris to these streams, bro?
Is that a problem?
No, I broke in the password, you know. I think I guess the right password.
I think I
sorry,
fixed the
Virgo.
echo.
This is my last stream. I'm never coming back again. I
Oh.
didn't know Eris was here in these parts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm mute. I'm gonna mute you when we get back too.
All right, let me know how it sounds now.
Perfect.
Uh,
It wasn't my fault this time.
My mic is this weird shit, and it makes my voice mad deep sometimes. I don't know why.
Oh God, I was like, what?
yeah.
I
you
also
sound
like
a
how
different
Black
person.
Luffy's like avatar is just black.
Now, the first time it happened in a tower Gashi for like 35 minutes, and no one told me. And someone's probably like, yo, why do you sound like that? So I listened to him like, nigga, what? Like, yo, sitting here, I talk like Vader for like 30 minutes.
Yeah. I came in. I just thought you were just a deep ass voice nigga.
No.
No.
It's not. I'm not. It's not like that.
So I was like, okay, deep throat.
Oh, excuse me?
Oh my goodness. You didn't never watch that movie?
No. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyway, Lucy, what's your take on the chapter?
Oh, I think every chapter is a 10 out of 10, but this one might
Wait,
have
what?
been 15.
Okay, Taekwon Jr. Wait, Lucy, you weren't serious. No, you don't.
I do.
Yeah, that's some crazy.
I already told you, One Piece is the greatest piece of literature ever written, next to the Bible.
So
No, before the Bible.
So nothing ever makes you upset.
Huh?
Nothing ever makes you upset.
Only thing that ever makes me upset is the lack of Oda putting stuff in there, like him not showing us the Akainu versus Akiji fight, us not seeing Shanks, us not seeing Buggy get serious. But at the same time, I understand that if he did put those things in, we would already know exactly where Luffy is gonna be later and where the rest of the Straw Hats are gonna be. So he holds those stuff from us, so we don't know exactly what's to come. So it kind of makes sense in the end.
I see. But there's got to be other grips you have. Like, damn, like I can't believe this was executed like this. You can't just think everything's great, man.
Sometimes like during the arc, I'll be like, damn. Like, during Whole Cake, I'm like, damn, this is trash. But Oda always comes through by the end. Always comes through.
Okay, so you're saying you'll think something is trash until the payoff is revealed.
Yeah.
That's what happened with Zoro versus Kamazu.
Yeah.
Zoro vs. Kamazu was just great. It's just.
I thought it was. I didn't really think it was bad at all.
No, the thing is, everybody was like, Zoro lost to a mid-tier trash, but now that they found out it was killer, whether he's mid-tier still or not, like, people don't say that anymore. They, like, respect it, like, oh, never mind, whoops, big mistake.
Killer. Yeah, fair enough.
All right, Eris, what's your consistency, bro?
I mean, I think...
the chapter.
I mean, we got some okay information and stuff. We found out what happened. I mean, the exchange and stuff. All that stuff was all right. Frankie, he has something he can do now, so he's gonna do so good at this job. This objective, the whole build the ships. Like he was already in Wano doing that over the time. He's so good at it. Just a savant, prodigy, all that shit at building ships. So they're gonna be set when it comes to sailing over here. It really picked up towards the end. Obviously, I like the clash and stuff. I like the thing about King that's very interesting, and I'm interested. Whether it's like giants, Skypeans or something, but that other race, is it Kaido? And obviously Big Mom can't really get Kaido. Or did she get him? So it's like, but I think it's like an 8.5 out of 10, only because beforehand it was kind of like you knew something was coming at the end based on how the chapter was going, basically.
Yeah.
And lastly, I just want to say that this dude Orochi is he's under a complete sense of false security. Like he thinks Law captured, Luffy captured. he thinks everything's going quite swell. Like he has no idea the shitstorm that's coming. Not to mention the calamities at fucking at Onamagisha Island or whatever, because Udon, they don't know what's going on there yet either.
Okay.
I don't know how Queen doesn't know that Luffy is gonna take over that prison. Queen is a jerk. Like, he's literally an opera at this point. Like, he should have told them, like, yo, I kind of left
Yeah,
Luffy
well, the moment he
uncuffed,
dropped off Big Mom, he probably should
walking
have had it
free
back.
with just one fucking elephant smile user.
The moment he dropped off Big Mom, he probably should have went back.
Yeah.
I ain't see fucking Spider Monkey. It was just like that guy. He was supposed to be like the top guy there, outside of obviously Queen, but still, that's clearly not enough. Like I don't know what Queen was thinking. People say that's the right choice, but if you think about it, and we know like the outcome that's gonna come of that, like we already know, like they lost Udon, so clearly it wasn't the right choice if they lost Udon.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I feel that. Black Luffy, are you
He
here?
lost Udon just for Kaido to free Big Mom again.
Black Luffy, are you here?
Yeah.
So it definitely wasn't the right choice.
All right, good talk, Black Luffy. But going on back to the chat.
Well, it's our stream now, Lucy.
Wait, what?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's right.
Didn't realize I was muted. Fucking idiot. Anyway,
Don't worry, we'll take over.
I'm so fucking dumb. Anyway, Black Luffy, I was calling your name, but obviously you couldn't hear me if I was muted. Are you here?
Hey, yeah, Virgo. I think the chapter's alright, you know. Head, boy.
Black Luffy, bro. What do you think about the chapter, bro?
I don't think he's there.
He just unmuted himself.
I think this proves my theory right that Kawina is actually alive and she's.
Wait, and she's what?
And she's king. What's that girl?
And she's king.
Komurasaki?
Oh,
yeah,
Hiyori?
Komurasaki.
Bro, that'd be wild.
Kawina is
Interesting.
Komurasaki. That's what Black Luffy was gonna say. Now let's move on.
That's what he was gonna say.
Dude, he be having these like he'll have these little theories, right? And then he'll hold on to them forever, like he won't, like, and then he'll finally move on to some other like theory.
Let's see.
He's gonna hold this one for all of Wano, bro, to the last chapter.
So how many more secret groups do y'all think Orochi and Kaido have?
Man,
A couple more. Kaido has to have one. Kaido has to have one secret group, bro, and that's the one Apu is on. It's the only thing that's making sense to me because, like,
what's up, Double
the
X?
Flying Six Fighters.
Maybe Apu's just the headliner.
Sanji body the body page one, bro. If the Flying Six Fighters are just that, like,
yeah, that's disappointing.
guys, we can't forget about the mythicalers, the Zone fleet, the Zone army, or crew that he has.
The what? What did you refer to them as?
I'm making up words. The mythicalers.
He doesn't have any. He
They're
doesn't have
mythical
that.
zones.
He doesn't have that.
So they're gonna pop up, dog.
I thought somebody would have been.
If he has that, then what the fuck are the calamities for?
I mean, good question.
Hey, it's just different, factions of the zones. The ancients, the mythicals, the smiles, and
Well, if you look at it in a certain way, King technically would be a myth because he's the last of his race. So.
They're races, but I'm talking, devil fruit.
They're racist.
No, that's not what you meant, Devil. That's not what you meant at all. Before I move on to the rest of you guys' take on the chapter, what do you guys think about these samurai, the Mimawari Gumi?
Yo, that guy with the ponytail is gonna be a beast, bro.
You think so?
Y'all were hyping Kiyoshiro. Stop hyping him now, bro. Kiyoshiro is the gangster. He's the leader of the Yokozuna or whatever. This guy is the police force, bro. What do you mean? Who stops the gangsters? Stop it, bro. This guy is basically This guy is basically Itachi's
Hold on,
dad.
Black
The
Luffy.
police.
Hello?
Yeah, what's good,
Can
Hans?
nobody- Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we hear
What
you.
Yes,
Nigga, you
Black.
just got in
What's up?
here.
Yes, Black Luffy.
I've been here for like 5 minutes, but all right.
No, you definitely weren't.
He definitely wasn't.
Come back. Y'all niggas couldn't hear me.
Yeah, we
We
could
can
have seen you
now.
2 seconds ago because you
Were
joined
you talking
1
that
second ago.
entire time, Black Luffy?
Yeah, I had to come. This nigga was throwing shit on my name and my theory and shit.
What's your theory?
Wait, I didn't throw shit on your name. On your theory.
Hey,
Last
we talking
chapter,
about me.
the evidence came last chapter. Second off, Queen made the right decision out of the options he had. He took the main threat
That's
at the time that was be assumed to be the main threat off the board right to Kaido's door. That's what you're supposed to do in that situation.
You're supposed to throw it
No,
in.
you make it look good and then you throw them in the water. Throw in the water.
Second off, Law gonna get tortured worse than Kid or Luffy. That's facts. Because he's right under Orochi. Orochi's worse. And it's not some udon like training shit where you just like working for a meal. And Big Mom almost dislocated her shoulder.
Hell no.
I don't. Where in that is a theory?
What's that? What part?
No, that wasn't the theory. He was just said I was talking shit about his theory.
Yeah, that was.
That's how I know you weren't here for 5. That's how I know you weren't here for 5 minutes, bitch.
Oh no, get him, Lucy.
What's his theory?
You weren't here for no 5 minutes, but what's his theory?
Yeah, what's his theory?
That Kawina is Komurasaki.
Oh wow, you're so creative.
What?
Wow.
No, it's not a unique theory or nothing. It's just something like he believes in.
Yeah, I mean,
It is a
believes in that
it is a
popular
very
theory.
unique theory. He's the only one that's ever said that.
No, he's not the only one that's ever said that. I've heard that theory before, but
He is.
They don't got that do.
what?
Yeah, you heard it from somebody that heard it from him.
What evidence do you have to support that?
Before
Is Hans filling the world of Dritz right now? Whatever this
I
dude has.
mean, I'll say this: people were saying that she had the possibility of being Kuina since we first saw her.
Okay, but based on what?
I heard it from multiple people.
Right, but based on what?
her, I was saying that
Based
she
on
was going
looks,
to be in Wano.
perhaps.
Then we
Okay.
get there, right?
Yeah.
What?
Go ahead.
Then we get there. We find out. Okay, this is my thing. You know how I feel about Zoro's backstory.
Was it
Queen
yes?
ain't down the fucking stairs. Okay.
Okay, but what makes you? I'm like, regardless how you feel about his backstory, what makes you
Koshiro-
believe that
Koshiro-
Kuina is Komurasaki?
Koshiro. Okay, Koshiro is from Wano because of the Snatch connection. Zoro knows Snatch because he taught it to Momo. Koshiro taught Zoro Snatch. The people 10 years ago yelled Snatch, or that's the same thing before.
Look.
Kyoshiro taught Zoro Snatch.
Yeah, taught him how to say Snatch when nobody make it up out of it.
When did Zoro and Kyoshiro have an interaction on Wano?
He's talking about his master. You guys know
That was
that.
Master.
Koshiro, bro.
I don't even know where you're
Koshiro.
training at.
Koshiro, not Kiyoshiro. Koshiro.
Okay.
Y'all being petty as hell right now.
No, I really misunderstood.
But go ahead.
Right. So you got the Snatch connection. Right? You got the Snatch connection. Then you got Toki sent her separate into the future from the other group. We don't know if one of the Skybirds went with her or what the situation was.
I thought she wasn't sent into the future. I think
Hiyori was, she was sent in the future, but not with Momo's group, right?
Well, Kawamatsu was with her.
No. He already stayed in the past with Kawamatsu until Kawamatsu got captured.
That was with her.
Next time.
It's almost implied that Kyoshiro's actually what's her name? Himura.
It's actually, yeah.
Yeah, he took care of it, right? For what, 9 years or something like that? How long was it?
It was
Because she wasn't sent into the future. That's why. Yeah.
But he got but then who's Oden's daughter? Like then what?
Oden, listen. Zoro lost to Oden's daughter. There's the only reason he lost to a female that many times that was that strong. She's not some random girl, right? It's Oden's daughter that went with Koshiro.
Okay, but
From Wano,
if you just do the math just based on how old Zoro is, like
yes, he was 1 year old when Kaido took over Wano. He's 21 now. He's 1 year old, which means that Hiyori, who was 6, because Momo assumes that she would be 26 right now. That we don't know if she's sent into the future. We just know that it wasn't with that group, and we know that she came back prior to like 13 years ago because Kawamatsu had her, and then he turned her over to Kiyoshiro to take care of her.
Or she's been there the whole time.
Or I'm saying, like leeway.
I think the evidence is loose. I'm not gonna. If you want to believe that, that's fine. But the evidence is thin as fuck. You gotta at least acknowledge that, right?
Then you also have that
I guess not.
Murasaki faked her death in front of Orochi the same way that fucking Kuina faked her death in front of Zoro and everybody there.
But we don't know that Kuina faked her death. You're just saying that to make it fit to your theory.
No, but I think Oda does parallels on purpose, and in my mind, I think he did that.
Parallel yet.
Yeah, there's no parallel. What's the parallel?
Their death.
One is perceived to be dead. One is actually dead.
Where's the time? We're done.
That's what I'm telling you. Like,
If it was a parallel, they would have quote unquote died in the same way.
Is it done now?
You have to understand. I don't think
So about the trash Wano police force, I don't have high hopes because the only one washed you guys got washed. So yeah,
you know what the ultimate spin?
that's all I gotta say about those police guys.
The ultimate spin is if the same character does the same thing twice, but you figure out the second one first, and then you find out that the first one was a fake death too.
All right, you got it.
Or you have a belief, and you're trying to find evidence to support that belief, even though it's not there.
No, okay. So there's. Listen, bro. Like,
am I bugging him? It's like, stop me if I'm crazy.
No, stop entertaining. This is
I feel like you don't want to believe it.
Fine. We'll move on. Virgo.
Yo.
What was wrong?
Oh, you didn't know I'm in charge now.
No. So I'm fighting. I'm trying to fix the audio, guys. That's what I'm trying to do. And I'm trying to make it a better experience for our viewers. We got 45 people and we're making their ears bleed. So. So next thing I was gonna move on to was Devil Egg. What you think of the chapter since you were next in line?
I thought the chapter was great because it's One Piece or something.
Wait, how is he next in line? What's your last name, Neptune?
Junior.
Okay, you're next in line.
What?
Started with a J.
But no, actually, I don't. It's been a while since I read the chapter. Could you just remind me what happened?
Okay.
Bro, the chapter just came.
Jack called his brothers trash, and he said that Jack is like a rare race or something. Like,
no, not
Wotan, like
King.
King.
Like,
Yeah, but what happened before?
No, it was
I remember that.
said he was like half fishman, half giant, or something like that.
No,
I don't think it was. I don't think we were told. Yeah.
Okay, I'm
We
pulling
weren't told.
Anyway, but Jack is the tallest out of all three of them. He is the tallest.
That is true.
But based on the information that we got, like, it's clear that he can't be. At the very least, it's assumed that he's not a giant, right? Because Oda goes out of his way to imply that it's different than the one thing that we already knew that she wanted.
You mean like 1 of 3, right?
Yeah.
Right. So
we know
King is 2 of 3 technically,
what
right?
that one is, but it's assumed that he's not that one since he went out of his way to say, "Oh, you're one of these 3." You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, that's a fact. He's not a giant.
No, he's not a giant. He's one of the sky people. We just don't know which tribe he's from.
Yeah, wasn't there a Birkin? There was a Birkin in Whole Cake, wasn't there?
No, there was no sky people at all in Whole Cake Island.
Not that we saw.
Not that we saw.
Yeah.
I thought I saw someone miniature wing. It could be wrong. All right. Well, since Devil Lake doesn't remember the chapter,
My bad.
we can move on.
Ever,
past-
Dev, we're gonna have to kick you out of here, man. We don't need you in here. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't say all that. Hans, it's on you, my guy.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the chapter was good. You know what I'm saying? I like this to me is what you would rate a 10 out of 10 if you were going to give it that score. But like, I mean, obviously the hypest part is the Kaido versus Big Mom clash, but I also know that that's pretty much all we're gonna get from that. You know what I mean? Other than that, I can't really complain. It was a pretty decent chapter.
Pretty decent. So nothing besides that. Nothing really crazy stood out to you.
No, not really. I mean, maybe as we go on, some I'll talk about it, but from right now, no.
You know what my favorite part was.
Here we go.
What was your favorite part?
Hawkins.
Walkins.
You know what my favorite part
Oh,
was.
actually, can we talk about that?
I thought like the chapter was pretty efficient. I'm here for like the Sanji and Shinobu thing. I think that's gonna be good because she's gonna free like there's 1,000 people in that jail cell. So that's crazy, man. So you need them. So I'm here for that. Obviously, the symbol changing. We'll learn what that means. We'll talk about the Hawkins Law thing in a second. But I'm under the impression that those two are scheming right now.
Thank you for saying that.
Like they're scheming. It was so funny because so many people might read the chapter and I read it and I'm like, wow, why did you guys think I was gonna be upset? That shit was so funny. Y'all so childish. The clash was hype. I want to know more about the King stuff, obviously. The thing with the clash was cool and anything, but the thing about it that I like the most is just how it paralleled the Shanks and Whitebeard one because Big Mom was like, yo, King, trying to join me? Just the way he's like, yo, come to my crew, Marco. And they're both like, nah. That was really what made me like, oh, shoot. Like, that's almost... that's very similar.
Let's forget about the big difference.
That was cool.
Before we talk about the differences, though, there were a few parallels for sure. Like, ultimately, this clash is going to lead into the war. You know, back then it was Marineford. This one's going to be the war in Wano or whatever. And then you got the whole fact that back then it was the sake. This time it's the sweets. You know, and then this is a lot more.
No, Naya be upset. I'm not upset.
Can I say something about that Hawkins and Law shit? Because I know Hemmings agree with me. Because when that there's like a line in the chapter where it's almost like I forget what it said word for word, but they say something along the lines of like, yeah, Law and Hawkins came to this deal, that's why we got let go. But it read off in a way that it was almost just like, oh, these niggas is probably a lot closer than we think that they are. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like the way that I interpreted it, right, was just like I felt like there was also a specific reason why Hawkins kept trading. Like Hawkins is interesting to me because he's like I like to see his journey up to this point because he seems like he always come across to me as someone who just avoids any fight he deems completely worthless, unnecessary, and a lot of people had all their like narratives. My only pushback with anybody who was upset at the situation is that I just didn't find. I had no reason to believe that Hawkins was afraid. I think I didn't get that from the chapter, especially when I read the Viz.
What is that
Viz
noise?
version? Because they're all different if you read all different versions of what he said. But I'll read them in a second. But to me, it put the context into the last chapter because everything about this whole conversation just felt fishy to me and forced. And especially when you go to the last chapter, he's all like, "I'm gonna interrogate you." He's all looking all menacing, and Law's really like cocky. I'm like, this interrogation comes across as phony to me.
It's like, also just like the fierce, like
what's up, Dritz?
Like this, like how desperately Hawkins wants to get in contact with Law. Like,
yes, he kept stalking him all Wano.
Yeah, since all of Wano, and it's like it's more than just I'm doing this because Kaido will fucking kill me. Like this almost seems like he needs to communicate with Law for something else.
I agree with that, and I can't remember where I brought this up, but I would say that because I'm under the impression that none of the supernovas want to stay a beast pirate. They all have their own agenda because Drake is fishy for his own reasons. I'm not sure what he's doing, but even when they came like, "What are you up to?" He's kind of like nothing, brushing off. Like they all see, but I can't speak up on Apu yet. I haven't seen him, but Hawkins is just playing a probability. But to me, I feel like because he's one of the newer headliners, he's a new addition, right?
He's not.
when you're
Damn,
kind of
Lucius.
like when you're kind of like a double agent in a sense. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how many of you guys are like. I'm not gonna go into spoilers, but like there's a character in Attack on Titan who's known as the Owl.
Oh,
And
no.
he had to fake so hard as being one of the Marlians that he killed a lot of his own people
bro.
to keep his cover. So I find that to not make look suspicious, you gotta look like you're trying really hard. Like, look, Kaido-san, I'm doing this work. Like, come on, Master. Like, he looks like he's going way
Come
too
on,
hard to me.
Master.
So I'm under the impression that on the way to the jail cell, they talked about something because Beppo, Sachi, and Penguin went their own separate ways. Then Hawkins and Law walked to wherever he's locked up in. I think they're scheming something.
I will say though,
Yeah, they trying to smash Hiyori, bro.
I will say like because it does seem like regardless of like the way Law's crew described it and the interaction with Hawkins and Law, it does seem like at the very least that Law's
This nigga got
crew
the whooping bro.
is under the assumption that they need to rescue their captain. There is no deal here. Like their captain's in serious danger. So I think it would be a great opportunity to kind of see how good Law's crew is because we don't really have that sense.
Yep.
And I would love to expand on that.
Okay, you mind if I just read this real quick? Virgo, the three different rounds of the exchange.
Go ahead, Lucid. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
I
understand you smoking, bro. That's some water, dog. Like, come on.
So in J-Box, he basically says, "Get out. Your lives are in terms of exchange. If you refuse now, like law will kill me, even if it costs your lives." And he says, "It shouldn't be surprised that I feel intimidated by someone who can take the future into account." Right.
Correct.
So that the kill line is what made everyone go like, "Oh shit, yada yada." Right. So if you read the other version, this one's manga stream, which I don't take that seriously because they call it category dogtooth. What do you want? Go. Your lives are the collateral. If you refuse, traffic law will cut you, you poor fools down. To get to me, the threats of a man nothing to lose do send shiver down the spine. And
that's way different. What the fuck?
Yeah, and then in the Viz, he goes, "Get out. Your lives are bargaining chips. If you refuse, law will choose to come for my life, and that includes yours. The threats of a man who includes no hopes in his future's plans are just as dangerous as they seem."
Yeah, we can't believe that.
So I found like it's strange that I kind of interpret them a little bit differently depending on the phrasing. So it just depends on which one.
They're all three different statements, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Like he's not like Law is not as dangerous as in the third one as he is in the first two.
Yeah. So, and then I just found
somebody running water.
There was a lot of variables.
Someone's doing dishes. I mean, come on, man.
Sorry.
Like,
That's
come on,
bad.
man.
That's
Y'all
my
gotta
bad.
treat me with a little bit of respect. Like, fuck.
That was my bad. The last thing I was gonna say is just like with the final part where like he drops the three bodies. How does Law not even check to see if those were his mans? Like, how does he even know? Like,
That is true.
That just seemed weird to me. That's all I'm saying. Something's up.
No, I feel
Yeah,
you.
I mean, I guess he's going off of Hawkins' word because Hawkins told him the previous chapter that he had 3 lives and there were
4.
Well, 4, yeah. And when he cut himself, what's his name? Bled.
Sachi.
It was he bled when he cut himself. So I guess he's going off of that.
But yeah, that part of the chapter is the most interesting. But well, obviously, I like Hawkins a lot. But I can't wait to see what they're up to.
Oh boy, baby.
I mean, I'm just surprised that we're not at the end of Act 2 yet. Like the longer this goes, I'm just like what is the ending point for this? Because obviously it's gonna end on a cliffhanger that kind of baffles us all.
I'll tell you. Okay, so it already ended. Sorta. Is Udon like Udon was a plot point that's been stretched on for so long.
I agree.
Big Mom's going to Udon. She's going to Udon. She's not there yet. Oh my god, she's there. Boom. We're finally done with that. Finally.
Yeah, right.
But now like shit's really rolling, especially now that Luffy's gonna be down for some of the arcs, so we can start getting into these other people. I don't want to say okay the arc's gonna end soon because I feel like I say that shit every chapter because I do and that shit doesn't end yet. But hey, eventually it'll get there. But that Udon point, that Udon thing is really the biggest deal that really got us moving forward at this point.
But that's kind of my point.
That Big Mom and Kaido's there, like they just literally clash. You know,
but that's kind of my point, right? Like there was such a heavy emphasis on Udon in specific, right? And I personally felt, and I feel like you felt the same way too, that once that was done, like
it's snuffed too quick. It ended too quick.
I thought once the escape happened, Act 2 ends, we have another time skip, and then we're closer to pulling up. You know what I mean? And the fact that Udon is done but we're still not near that conclusion, and we're getting more information set up. Is kind of we might be in this motherfucker a lot longer than I thought.
I honestly think he could even have Zoro go back to the bridge and face Yukimaru before he ends Act 2. Because
that would be long as fuck.
I mean, but look at it. He has so much because it's supposed to be getting more and more intense as we go. If he already gave us the clash between Big Mom and Kaido, and he didn't end it right there, that means something else.
I mean, something even bigger is about to happen.
Exactly.
I mean, is it possible that Act 2 ends with us pulling up? Is that a possibility?
Pulling up to only go. Dang, that means Act 2 is gonna be long as heck.
No. Frankie's not gonna build the ships that fast.
Isn't it technically Act 2 like is supposed to be the longest?
Well, Act 2 and 3 are supposed to be the longest of the acts.
So I mean, there's a good shot.
And it's definitely like when we come to Act 2, obviously since we didn't end yet, if nothing else bigger transpires besides these two Yonkos that haven't met in decades, like literally decades, and the fact that we've been waiting on Big Mom to go to Udon for so long, she finally gets there, has a little tussle with Queen, boom, fell on her butt, fell asleep, back to Udon, they're already clashing. So the whole point was for her to meet Kaido, for them to finally clash, because they've been talking good shit on that phone this whole time, and shit's finally gonna go down.
But here's part of my, but here's what I'm not understanding. So, Oda's going out of his way to make it known, these two Yonkos do have to meet, but for what fucking purpose? Because I know for a fact, Oda, he's not gonna let them actually fight on panel. You know what I'm saying? At the start of an arc, it's there has to be an agreement or some understanding that comes out.
There already
is
an agreement,
right?
and an understanding. They already talked about how he's owes her a favor. 1 and 2, they used to be in the same crew together.
He don't give a fuck about that though. He don't give a fuck about that. He made that shit known.
Well, Mosh, if they make a deal, does that prove you wrong then?
Yes.
No, now I expect them to make a deal, but a deal to what end?
But you
in that
have
case,
to go back to the Big Mom's dialogue because she said, "Come on, let's get along like old times."
Yeah, she didn't say that for nothing, Mosh.
Exactly, she wants an alliance between herself and Kaido.
Look, I agree,
Kaido
but I don't think it's going to be in the premise of "bitch, you owe me." I don't think that'll be the premise.
Yeah.
I think
it's already in that premise, though. You know, she's already saying that shit. Like, you owe me. We don't know Kaido's age, but I mean, Kaido's age, but we know Big Mom's older. Big Mom was probably stronger in the past, and she was already a monster at 5. Whatever. He probably needed her, and she's like, okay, I'll do this, and boom, there's a favor. We're gonna find out what it is, and then there's the Rock's history.
Listen, I agree. Right, that she did say that, and that's her intention. I don't but I don't agree with it as a premise because once she made that statement, Kaido immediately goes the fuck out of here. I don't care. So if they make a deal, it'll be a deal in a way where Kaido doesn't feel like, oh, I'm absolving this quote unquote debt that I owe. I don't think that's gonna happen.
I think that's only because they're rivals and they're supposed to talk that good shit to each other. Like when Shanks and Whitebeard, when they were on the same shit, they were talking the good. That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to be, shit talkers. They're Yonko. They all got egos.
Even in that sense, that's part of my. If they do come to a talking point, right, and it ends in a similar way that Shanks and Whitebeard ends, at the end of the day, what she's clearly not going to go home because she got beef with Luffy. But if there's no resolution here, then what the fuck was the point of this whole thing?
Considering you're agreeing with everything I'm saying, I guess we're good here.
I mean, I agree and disagree at the same time, but
okay.
All right.
Disagree at the same time.
Yeah.
Fence sitter.
This nigga ugly, bro. What's going on, Mr. Dragdown?
Good evening, friends.
It's been a long time since you've been here.
Hello.
I believe you're the only one out of this panel I have yet to ask about the chapter. What do you think? Since Devil Egg did not remember, he was the only one of the panel who did not say what he thinks.
Oh, Devil Egg's here?
Yes.
Yo, Devil Egg.
My name's Neptune Jr. Yeah, I'm here.
Neptune. What I think of the chapter? I liked this chapter less than the previous chapter, but I still think it was pretty solid. There's some aspects to it that I enjoyed. Some that I think were kind of questionable. But it leaves the ending of it pretty exciting because I feel like, I don't know, I've been saying this for the past, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 months, but Act 2 needs to end in a way that sets up a new conflict in Wano, because the way things are kind of going right now, there's really nothing to worry about. and there really hasn't been much to worry about for a long time. And so, it also seems like everything's kind of coming to an end in terms of what the Straw Hats need to do prior to the war actually beginning, and there's still multiple days left. And they've been put into a spot where I don't know how Oda's actually going to handle this with the Kaido and Big Mom stuff, but the Straw Hats have been put into a place where the antagonists of the arc can no longer just sit there and logically ignore them without doing something, because now they're like wanted all over the place.
Yep.
So I don't know what's to come. It's not like they also can't survive for multiple days unless Kaido is distracted for multiple days on end and just doesn't care. And if that happens, if like Kaido spends the next 7 days before the 5 days before the Fire Festival not caring, it's not going to set a good precedent for the narrative. So there has to be some kind of conflict or something come out of the Big Mom and Kaido stuff that makes you question like how well the plan's going to go. Because all One Piece plans essentially go exactly the same, where it starts off, it's like everything's going amazing, and then at the last second, it all goes horribly wrong. And everyone has the idea that this will be like the Rocks Pirate stuff, and it seems like the best idea to me.
Yeah.
Can I buttress your Kaido point really quickly? Like I like I do understand that they all wanted on this island, and that's good for a story sense. But I don't know if that's a result of Kaido's hand. Like I feel like Kaido is mostly separated. He's aware that there are people that are coming for him and that they're on this island, but I don't think he is necessarily worried. All of the worry and sort of the anticipation is coming from Orochi more so than Kaido.
He also doesn't know what's happening in Udon right now because of the boss spawn snail being snuffed out or whatever it was, like the little thing. So he's not really aware. And I guess part of this drunk gimmick is to give him something that makes him kind of a little bit handicapped in the sense
out of the loop.
Yeah, so that's
right,
like
but
Big Mom get hungry, he get turned.
So
at best that lasts like a couple of days maybe before like the Udon stuff comes to light. And like the biggest question is like what comes out of the Big Mom and Kaido stuff, because either way you slice it, it kind of leaves the arc in an almost unbelievable fashion. So like a couple ideas are, they ally together, which means
that's wild.
I think it's a kind of a ridiculous idea because
that's the worst case scenario.
It just sounds overwhelming.
The only way to get out of them allying is to introduce someone equally as strong, if not stronger, as an ally for Luffy, which kind of undermines the entire purpose of the arc.
Exactly.
And if Big Mom just leaves, it has like the meaning of her being in the arc is like there's virtually no purpose.
Non-existent.
But there's already like crew versus crew. The people of Wano, the samurai, and the beast pirates. Then we got Pirate Mink Alliance and all that stuff going on, and we do have the Marines still coming, and Weevil and Marco. We still got all these other players.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, that doesn't necessarily answer what would come out of the Big Mom and Kaido stuff.
Well, you said there would be no answer, and the Marines aren't on their team, so that can be the opposition.
Yeah, but it would seem redundant to have just like Big Mom's group like fight the Marines for like while the actual plot's going on.
I mean, I don't see why that would be redundant when they're in the arc.
It couldn't be too crazy because it's supposed to be a large scale war in summation.
Kaido kind of needs the help.
Well, I mean, Kaido doesn't need the help. His crew needs the help because like the only person that really matters at this point in time is Kaido. But if you give Kaido Big Mom, it becomes too big of an obstacle to logically.
That's just scary, man.
Overcome.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Because we've already reached the point where, unless Luffy gets so strong within the arc that it's actually too dumb that how strong he gets, Kaido still needs to be nerfed in order for the Straw Hat Alliance to win.
Exactly.
Oh hell no!
That's going to be
what if the Marines bring the new pacifistas and they're stronger than we think since they're replacing these warlords?
Are the pacifistas going to beat Kaido?
Yeah, I mean, come on.
I'm just bringing up more opposition.
Luffy literally said he was okay.
As my fault. Go ahead, because you ain't say shit. Go ahead.
Don't listen.
Yeah, Luffy was training the hockey that was gonna be able to stop Big Mom's attack, and the same one that Rayleigh trained and used. What he was training that Rayleigh used to break the collar. Once Luffy masters that and uses that in Gear 4th, that's more than enough to take down Kaido.
No, it's not. That's enough to maybe make Kaido get serious.
Based on what?
Oh my god.
Wait, why are you? Oh my god!
That's the question.
To make Kaido get serious.
Yeah, Kaido's not going to take them serious unless they can actually do something to him. This is
look,
the entire
how would you-
power-up is
Something
meant
to
for
him.
them to hurt,
Look,
Luffy without the Haki was knocking his ass around.
and he wasn't hurt at all.
But he wasn't hurting him.
No, but just curious, like, how do you guys define when Kaido's serious?
Well, I mean, for Kaido's fruit, it would be whenever he actually. Well, you can tell it's kind of like a demeanor.
It's
Where,
when
like, whenever Kaido was fighting Luffy to begin with, he was like,
Kaido's size.
okay.
It's like Katakuri when he got when Katakuri quote unquote got
he's
serious.
drunk, that's his nerve. So would you guys say when Luffy was already fighting Kaido that Kaido was serious, considering he one-shot him? He just sighed, one-shot him.
When Kaido got serious, he one-shot him.
When Kaido
It's just him being sober, though.
When
You know what I'm
Kaido
saying?
got sobered up, when Kaido got sobered up, he literally.
Are you guys gonna say he was serious then when he's sober?
No, I'm saying he literally let Luffy hit him.
Eric, you're acting like there isn't a depiction when Kaido's not being serious to being serious. You see that on panel. Like, why are you playing this weird?
No, I'm not playing any game. I'm just I'm not playing semantics. It's just when you say when Kaido gets serious, like what does that mean? Like
you know what
you know what it means.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said like his devil fruit.
With the way Oda draws Kaido, he takes a moment and then shifts the demeanor of the character on panel.
So when he's frowning.
If you want to make it
I
sound
can't tell
like
if you're
that,
trolling or
yeah.
not. No, I'm not trolling. Like for Luffy, for example, you can say like maybe when he uses Gear 4 for something like
I mean, when Luffy's
when Drift just said like he has his devil fruit. Okay, maybe he's talking about hybrid form. Like, is that your answer when he's in his hybrid form or something?
No, it depends. I mean,
I'm just asking. I'm not trolling. I don't understand. You gotta say I'm trolling.
It's very clear when a fight gets serious as you're reading the fight.
It's really not that hard. Kaido wasn't taking it as much as Kaido was like obviously after the fact he's like King Conquer his spirit. He's still glaring at me. He called him a brat. King of what? He wasn't taking him seriously. That was the thing. He wasn't like.
I mean, that's when he already one-shot him.
Where he sees as a legitimate threat to him. Like okay, like he's really arrived.
Like you gotta understand, like
it's kind of
hold on.
He's not seeing any of these kids as his equal.
A serious Kaido was a Kaido who wanted his soldiers to get Big Mom off the waterfall. That's Kaido being serious. He told them to get her off the waterfall unless if she invades the country, it's going to be all-out war. That's Kaido serious. Kaido not serious was when he was drunk, playing around with Luffy, and he had to sober up. And then again, when he looked at Luffy, he sighed at him and one-shot him.
Yeah, there's a shift in the depiction of how Kaido is seen in that.
And also to go back to a previous point, I forget who said it about like the armament Haki being enough. If all it took was just getting level 3 armament Haki, then the other Yonko would have no problem just destroying each other instantly. Because they all have the ability.
Right, but we're not gonna demean the importance of that.
Oh, it would be important, but like I'm saying,
like it's
clearly be very useful. But whenever Luffy gets that, it's not like
we're not gonna act like that's the tool that's needed to beat these people. Like obviously it is, right?
Well, to a degree. I mean, Kaido will probably have to be nerfed for it to matter.
I mean, maybe, but
I think the whole point of that technique is to be able to disperse the energy within him. That's my guess, because in terms of him falling from the balloon terminal having like a mild headache, you'd have to match that amount of force, if not more, to even hurt him.
Yeah,
outside.
I mean, I'm viewing Luffy's dialogue. Luffy literally said Kaido's scales were too hard.
Yeah,
like his scales were too hard. He couldn't even hit him.
Because I remember when that chapter came out.
My fault. I view this as like a future sight type of thing. Like future sight was the tool that he needed to get superior to Katakuri. In this fight, level 3 Haki will not be the end all be all, but it's a necessary tool to end up defeating Kaido.
Exactly.
Yeah. And just to go back to the dragon thing real quick, because I remember when that chapter came out, a lot of people were like, "Yo, he's beating his ass," and I always say this, right? Like, it's a Superman. I call it's a Superman thing, right? You could have enough force to hit Superman back, but not enough to hurt him, because you came fast enough and strong enough that you're going to knock him into a building, but that doesn't mean your punch actually did shit to him.
No, but I think the reason Oda introduced level 3 or Luffy learning this is so he can have the ability to hurt Kaido. That kind of.
I'll just make the earlier point that Lucid said, where he's like he was knocking him around. I'm like, yeah, but he didn't hurt him. That's all I'll say.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm not talking about Dog.
Yeah, that's okay.
Kaido literally cried out in pain.
Oh my god.
Anyway, look, as we I
no, but he gets hangovers.
I wanted to talk about what we were talking about in terms of like the future of the story with Kaido and Big Mom and all of that. Like as y'all were talking, I was thinking about it. Like I feel like if Kaido and Big Mom don't really come to a conclusion, you know what I'm saying, and they're kind of still parties opposed to each other, then maybe the way kind of like the through line moving forward is the situation with Law. Like if we can take the situation at face value and Law is seriously in danger, then maybe the attempts to rescue him is sort of how Big Mom comes into play and does some damage to Wawa's side while trying to go up against Kaido at the same time, if that makes sense. Like we're going to be sandwiched because we're trying to save Law.
So, and that's also like if they do find out he's captured and stuff like that, obviously, right?
Yeah, they're gonna find out.
That's not point time, yeah.
Yeah, like the Straw Hats are gonna find out.
Yeah, once you see "Don't tell Luffy," that means Luffy's gonna find out.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course.
Because you're gonna put two and two together. You have all these forces together. Where's Law? Like it's going to give itself away. To Eris's point about possibly an all-out war with the Marines coming, I think that would be a way to nerf Kaido. Is if Kaido does end up getting in a fight against Kizaru, and he ends up getting. I'm not saying Kizaru is going to body him, but if there's anyone who could hurt Kaido besides Yonko Big Mom, I would think an Admiral would be able to.
Oh, for
at
sure.
the very least.
Yeah.
And I would think that would be a way that they do damage to one another. Obviously, Oda does have Luffy learning level 3 armament. We know that it destroys a target from within, not from without. So
just out of curiosity, why do you guys keep calling it level 3 hockey? I've never heard that term.
I'm hearing that quite a lot this stream. I thought y'all would just
because level 2 is essentially putting hockey around your body, and the third version is having it pierce through something internally. So
we're basing that off of how
it was explained.
Or based off of what Goro said. He said the level he's trying to teach Luffy's already above that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Luffy's trying to do level 3 with how he grabbed the collar and threw it.
Because the way he explains it, he uses language that says, and to go a step further, you would then use this to attack someone's internals, and that's what Luffy's trying to do. So we say it's level 3.
Yeah, the level 3 would be like it being damaged from the inside, kind of like Fishman Karate. That's why the rock was like in an hourglass shape, because that's where the point of damage started.
You got it. I mean, I ain't calling it that, but you got it.
Just giving a mental image for those who don't remember the panel.
It's just an easy way to understand what we're talking about.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify because I was the first time I heard it.
I feel like it's actually been a pretty popular thing within the fandom.
I don't talk to the fandom.
Yes. Well, there you go, baby.
See, that's where you messed up.
Nigga said that shit third in this fuck.
He said that quick.
I'm not even joking.
No, Naya is so serious.
Because I can't deal with a lot of these guys. I can't do it.
No, I feel you, dude. I feel you on that.
Well, okay, so I have a different topic that we can kind of discuss. I kind of talked about this on Twitter, and it's what do you think the impact of the plot of Stampede means for the future of Wano? Because as I see it, Stampede, the plot for it, is literally Wano, what we thought it was going to be, and it's being released during Wano. So it is a giant, invincible person in a rocket pirate, and then you have all of the supernovas and this huge team of people group up to try and defeat him. And then that is exactly what people thought Wano was going to be. Do you think that means that Wano is going to move in a much different direction?
Yeah.
You would happen to be.
It would be like a slap in the face to all of you guys.
You wouldn't happen to be stealing my theory again, right?
What's that?
You wouldn't happen to be stealing my theory again, would you?
Who are you?
So anyways, they say that all the time. They steal my theory.
Man, he Thanos you, Eros, you got Thanos. Who are you?
No, I see it as like, okay, we're waiting for what Kid can do, and then this Kaido is fighting Kaido is supposed to be like a bunch of people just fighting Kaido, and like this dude, Bullet is like both of those combined, and it's just like, is he just gonna throw us for a loop or what? Because everybody already anticipates this for this arc.
Look, I think. So here's my problem with so I read the spoilers for Stampede, right? And
be careful with what you're saying. Everybody think you're
I'm new here. You're not supposed to know me.
I'm not gonna spoil. I'm not gonna spoil.
I still don't trust you.
It does say that.
All right, mute this nigga.
I think Bullet is as strong as Rayleigh. That's the assumption, right? And if that's true, and we have a movie where Luffy beats someone as strong as Rayleigh, like I think that drastically changes our expectations for him versus Kaido, right? Like
I mean, it shouldn't.
But
Those are
it's
movie
not
where you
canon.
pre-time skip.
This movie's pre-time skip.
It's not.
Pre-time skip Luffy beat Shiki in a movie.
Oh, well,
It was not pre-time skip. It was end of series Luffy.
Wait, what?
That's good.
It was end of series Luffy.
but look,
What do you mean? Oh, you guys are.
Wait, what you mean?
I agree with what Drit says in a sense that I do think, and most of this is because of how people expect this arc to play out. Like, if you talk to average people that read One Piece, people think everybody and their fucking mother is about to pull up in Wano. And just based on like Oda's writing style, he's not going to be able to handle that many characters. So like, I feel like just based on everyone's expectations, like we're not going to meet that bar. And I think this movie kind of cements that.
Well, not with the movie, but with the like what he said. You know, it's gonna outshine Marineford. So I mean, I would think so. You know, how can you one up Marineford? It's warlords. You know, Yonko, Whitebeard, and the Marines. How about two Yonko? How about the better pacifistas? You know, how about Weevil coming too?
I guess the easy answer, just because of the narrator, what the narrator said, it's the easy answer is just to think it's going to be this ultimate gangbang against Kaido. But I think splitting their focus against multiple foes, I like that.
I thought you said easy answer. You complicated everything.
Intake, Super. I don't really know where like your conclusion is with the idea. I haven't heard you talk about it. Do you think? I know a lot of people. This is like a minority of people. You think that Luffy will actually solo Kaido?
No.
I don't like it.
It thoroughly upsets me because when I see a large power gap, go ahead, Naya.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't think it's time.
When I see a large jump in power like that, the bullshit train starts rolling, and even if they start implementing these different things, where like, oh well, I can see it now, we can pierce him. Like, I don't know how that. Like, what did that do to change his own durability from getting one shot? Like, it just doesn't make sense.
So, like, I understand, right, like what people's hesitation to it, but I also, you know, like I feel like in every case that Luffy has faced someone that was clearly stronger than him, right? So like let's use like Oars for that example. Even when he fought Oars, there were moments where it was a 1v1 fight, regardless if he got a power up to do it or regardless if it was a very injured state. And I feel like that's sort of the trajectory that will probably happen with Kaido. Like, there will be moments where he fights 1v1, but towards the end of the fight, it will again fall back into a 1v1. Not to say that most of the fight won't be niggas jumping.
I can't.
Let me ask just this real quick. The only one who we've heard knows all is so-called a master of all three forms of hockey is Shanks amongst the Yonko.
Right.
Do y'all think that all the Yonko know? Let's just call it stage 3 hockey. Do y'all think all three of them?
I would hope not.
I would assume.
I don't know why all of the Yonko wouldn't.
I would assume.
What I'm saying, because we're told Kaido and Big Mom are just freaks of nature.
Exactly.
That's what we're told about those two, and we knew Whitebeard was the world's strongest man. But
I mean,
that doesn't mean that they're hockey experts like Shanks is.
I don't think so, right? And my hope for the story is that, so like, let's use Big Mom and Kaido, for example. Like, if Big Mom is a freak of nature, and part of the reason she's a freak of nature is because of how naturally good she is at just using ornaments, I'm fine with that if that's sort of the nugget of her strength is her use of ornament and her being this weird thing in nature, and like her observation is just proficient and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it would be nice if, like, for example, a character like Blackbeard doesn't necessarily need to be proficient in observation because he's a fucking tank. You see what I'm saying? So like, I just feel like it makes for more of a dynamic story, but there's a good shot that all four of them are just incredibly good at hockey, and we just call it a day.
When Madara, what did you say about Kaido and Big Mom? That they were monsters or something?
Freaks of
nature. I think that is fitting, and I think it is different from Whitebeard and Shanks. You know, because we know about the tough skin. We know when he has cuffs on, he's still not dying. So it's not just it's like It's not natural.
I mean, when
so.
Whitebeard was getting shot at, it's like I'm human. Like they call me a monster, but they shoot me at lead.
If we're gonna dumb it down that much, they call everyone a monster.
I know what you're saying, but I'm just saying what Whitebeard himself was monologuing to himself.
He wasn't.
He's very much
what he
blood and
built
flesh.
up to be.
As much strong as he is.
Yeah.
But real quick, I want to say that I think I know Laz made this video, and I can't remember what he said verbatim, but he was saying, like, you remember how Hawkins said that some of his cards can make you exceed your own capabilities?
Yeah.
Yes.
He was saying there's a possibility, like, with some type of external forces.
That's the Nightmare Luffy. That's what that is.
I wasn't even going to the Moria stuff, but I was just saying that could be one of the external power-ups that he gets to try to close the gap. The gap.
Is that satisfying?
No.
Absolutely not.
It is not. It's not. It's not satisfying, but it's just very, very applicable. And
I have to go, so I'll leave this with one last question for you guys. Do you think, with what we currently know about power levels, because as far as the narrative goes, there's only so far you can go. Power levels actually matter at some point in time. Do you think there is a narrative way to make Kaido go down in a satisfying manner that doesn't undermine him?
Well, that was the reason why I
The
asked.
level 3 hockey.
Yeah, because I asked I asked that to ask this: if Kaido doesn't have stage 3 armament and Luffy does, would that offset Kaido's just monstrous strength?
No, I think at this point in the community, if Kaido goes down outside of people jumping to him, people are not going to like it. Like, I think that idea and that sentiment has already took hold. And I fundamentally believe that at the end of this fight, it will be a 1v1 and people are not going to be happy with that.
Yeah, because if Luffy can deflect his attacks with stage 3, that would mean that even though Kaido has all that power, he can't hit him.
Right.
And that's what it would come down to. That would kind of be a happy medium, in my opinion. Yes, Luffy can't take a direct hit from him, but he can deflect his attacks.
Well, but here's a couple of things, though, right? Like, if he's able to do this thing with his haki where he can project it into other things, what that would do to his Gear 4 forms, I think is a conversation that we don't have a lot. Because I think once he masters this use of haki, that it'll have a fundamental different effect when he actually goes into Gear 4, just based on how Gear 4 operates. So, like, I
do gotta, oh, my bad.
No, I'm just saying, like, I think that this boost in him learning this level 3 hockey is going to affect his forms, that he's gonna be a lot more devastating than we previously assumed. And I think people are sleeping on maybe how that form could impact Gear 4.
I know Luffy just got one shot and all, and like I understand the whole thing with Kaido. Like, okay, how is he gonna go down in like a just way, like a fair way? But when it comes to Luffy and taking someone out, we just had Katakuri and Doffy. Very questionable 2v1 with Doffy. Katakuri, some people say future. He threw the fight. He's just kind of training them, sort of say. Like Luffy right now, like at his best now, not prime, just like right now, currently at his best. Who can he really topple in a 1v1, like the strongest opponent that you guys would be like, okay, not BS, that's cool, fair. Like surely, like who is it? It's not any admiral, is it? Like
first commander.
Yeah, if he fought Katakuri again, I think
if he fought first commanders, Luffy would realistically win now without like having to like train. Essentially, I think
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
He's not beating every first commander.
He would.
Well, not Ben Beckman. No.
We're just saying that he.
Not Marco either.
Marco's still questionable to me too, but.
Hell no.
He has a chance. Basically, what he'd have to do is overcome whatever their specialty is. So Marco would be like aerial mobility to some degree and his regeneration power. Like whoever their specialty is, the Devil Fruit, he has to overcome that. But he has the capability to deal with all of them at this point.
At this point, yeah.
Yeah, but I think it would be the hardest to deal with the aerial mobility.
I'm not saying he absolutely wouldn't. I'm just saying he could. There should be no issue should he come up.
We don't necessarily disagree with you, Lucy. You're fine for what you're saying.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like a lot of people say that like first commanders and stuff, but yeah, that's even no BS to win, right? Sort of say, but when you one up that from a first commander, like we're only at like admirals and Yonkos, so if he's right hand level, can he fight an admiral and then get some blooming because he is still blooming and top one? Would that be retarded or what?
No, I say this all the time. Like I feel like he's at the
This
point.
is the way you asked it made me laugh.
Like he just did it with like Katakuri, you know what I'm
He
saying?
said,
Like
"Is
this
that
dude was
retarded
way
or what?"
Listen, I
you
say
know?
this all, Eris. I
So
say
we're
this all the
talking,
time.
yeah,
Like,
standing from equal ground. He's
I
blooming.
feel like if he he's in the place now. If he stepped to Admirals and Yonkos, he would probably lose. Anyone else, he's not losing. And that's just sort of
Luffy is not losing to Fuji right now.
Why not?
You also
He would lose to Kizaru. He would lose to Akainu. Maybe Aokiji.
Yeah, I
Not
see.
Fuji.
So basically, he's like in between like first commander and admiral level.
I think I'd say he's on that level, but he just loses.
He's in
he
he's in that weird
hasn't
limbo
had
spot.
enough of those fights to really grow yet. Yeah.
Just
He's in that weird limbo area between that, yeah.
And I still think there's probably characters who fluctuate in between those levels and above it, but maybe before Yonko, I still think those gaps exist.
Who's in those gaps? Like Mihawk or something?
Possibly. That's kind of who I was thinking.
That's what I
know. Like
that's what I think.
You got like Mihawk and Rayleigh, and I think Garp.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I think he's like right there, like that little fine line. But I also think another character's in there that y'all might not agree with. Weevil. I know. I put the old geezers there. I put the old geezers there, like Rayleigh, Mihawk, and Weevil. I put those guys right there.
I just got to see it. It's not even that I don't believe it. You know me.
Wait, where do you put Mihawk?
You gotta see it to believe it.
I put them basically.
Do you guys?
Yeah, that's where.
Do you guys mostly have the admirals over or under or equal or over the Yonko?
I have them just slightly under them.
Same. Well, under, but not like. I don't think I don't know. It's hard to say because Oda's clearly trying to save them for like the end game stuff, and I don't think he wants to show too much what the highest tiers can do right now, which is one of the main reasons why I always think he skipped that Aokiji Akainu fight, because then he kind of gives you that power ceiling, like this is what to expect to a certain degree.
Yeah, I said that earlier in the stream.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of bullshitty off screens, but that was one of them that I understood. But
yeah, that's why we haven't seen Shanks, so on and so forth.
Yeah. But real quick, before we move on to this next topic, I wanted to do the mod of the day. And I'm going to give it to Marcus, which I know is God Usopp in Discord. I'm going to give it to him. He been here for a while, so I should have been giving him one, honestly. Boom, Cat. You got it. You joined the blue gang.
Go Marcus. Go Marcus.
Are you guys excited for Stampede?
I'm excited for Stampede. It's going to be.
I want to see if Crocodile's going to use armament or not.
It's probably going to be one of the best One Piece films.
Crocodile is not going to use armament.
We might see it in the movie.
No way.
I'm just like, I don't know if you guys like. I was thinking something. I just remember when they were marketing Gold, and they made the Lucci versus Sabo thing a really big deal.
And it was 30 seconds.
and they threw one punch. So I was just like, I know these guys are like all in the movie. Well, I feel like there's like they all got like a cool one liner here and there. They'll throw one attack. Like Crocodile gonna throw one Sabos, say something cool, and that's it. Like I need more. I need more.
You're gonna get a lot of Hawkins though, so you're all right.
Crocodile, a minimum. I'm not getting it.
You're gonna get a lot of Hawkins, so you're gonna be quick.
You are getting that. Crocodile is gonna, never mind.
Yo, if Hemmings gets Crocodile versus Hawkins, I don't know what he'll do.
You know who I have to side with.
I mean,
I
agree.
You know I'm sorry.
Well, if you one shot him, he could just use the voodoo.
But I'm with it though. But that's not.
So let's talk about. I still want to talk about Kaido and Linlin.
Mm-hmm. Who's Linlin? Oh wait, never mind.
That's like I almost find.
You didn't read the chapter.
I think that shit is funny too because
I don't think ever read the chapter.
He really be calling her by her govy, like Linlin. Like, chill.
Linlin.
No, you did that for comical reasons, right?
Who just said that? Where are you from?
Me? Toronto.
Yes, you. I knew it.
Yeah, I feel,
that's because Lucy from Toronto. He found a friend.
I feel like in terms of this movie, like they learned from Film Gold, like that bullshit they did with Sabo and Lucci and all that. Like I think in this movie,
they dropped the ball.
They're gonna do more than have a little fucking cameo. Like I think they'll be integral to the plot.
I feel like the supernova. Oh, you know what? I see Sabo and Lucci in all these promos. I don't know. I was expecting this.
I have the same fear you do, bro. I feel you on that. But like, I think it was so bad what they did in Film Gold that I think they're smart enough to realize that we can't. Really
I felt so tricked. I was like, wow.
I mean, I wasn't really that fucking shocked. I knew they was gonna do that.
That's the thing, though. It's like it happened, and I wasn't shocked, but I was like, damn, they got me though.
Hey, I want to know something funny, bro.
You was hoping still, like.
Yep, I gotta say, Hans, like you are my guy, but you are notorious for when I switch a point, switching it right back to the point that we just talked about.
Sorry, go ahead. Lin and Kaido.
Yes, Lin and Kaido, and how they split the heavens. Who did it better, Whitebeard and Shanks or Lin and Kaido?
Whitebeard and Shanks.
Oh, Whitebeard and Shanks, obviously, because see what you just said, how you had to cap a little bit.
Of course I was capping. I knew that.
Big Mom
I wanted to see what y'all was saying.
Big Mom and Kaido split the sky. Whitebeard and Shanks split the heavens.
Part of the reason why people like this moment is because it's so reminiscent of what happened with Whitebeard and Shanks. So that should tell you something.
Yeah,
that's true. Queen's face had me rolling. Queen was just like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, even Marco and King, they're both high flyers, by the way.
Queen slowly moving to trash in my book. But
wait, why?
Why?
I just.
She's trying to tell you.
Queen is funny as hell. What do you mean?
She was watching Luffy Bloom. He watched them. He used King's Hawk. He said, "Hell yeah, he's a King's user."
But this is just. But is that confidence or arrogance?
No, he's moving into opera territory with that.
It's arrogance and stupidity. That's what that
because
is. Opera?
No. To me, it came across as
Lucius said it already too.
He didn't feel like he was gonna be outclassed because he was like, even like, haha, we'll get him. He's like talking to himself when he's eating. He's like, obviously, you guys are gonna get washed.
Nah, but Naya, my problem with what you're saying is that we've seen this sort of mindset when it comes to Luffy and his antagonist too many times. So for us to be in this moment and we see Queen doing the same shit that Doflamingo did, Crocodile did, and the list go on and on and on of niggas just underestimating him.
But you know what, Hans? I think it's a little different because he immediately put respect on Big Mom.
Huh?
He immediately put respect on Big Mom when she pulled up to the prison. He was just like,
I mean, that make him look soft anyway. You think Zoro is you think Zoro shitting himself in front of a Yonko? No. You think Sanji shitting himself in front of a Yonko? No.
Yeah. You're not gonna be very happy about it.
I knew you were gonna say yeah. I knew it.
Zoro and Sanji both shitting themselves in front of a Yonko. Quit kidding yourself, dog.
No, they're not.
Wait, what? In front of what? Sanji kicked the Yonko. Stop it. What the fuck? Sanji knocked out a Yonko. Stop it.
He also spent the entire arc running from a Yonko, dog.
They're not afraid of Yonko.
They don't want the smoke.
No, he wasn't running away from her. He was baking a cake for her.
Okay.
Well, their captain
what do you mean?
was definitely running away.
That's literally what happened.
Yeah, I know.
Their captain has ran away from her 2 arcs in a row.
What captain?
Luffy.
No.
What do you mean, no? Luffy just spent Udon mine and running away from a Nerf Big Mom.
No, first of all, he kept telling her the whole time, bitch, I'm not here to fight you. You took my shit, I'm here to take it back.
No, I can't.
Why? Dude, are you serious? So all of Udon prison, he wasn't running away from a Nerf Big Mom?
What I just said was wrong. Tell me that Luffy did not that entire time.
You just ignored everything that I just said.
No, you ignored
even when Big Mom was at the prison, he was running away from Big Mom, dog.
I literally just said that, and you ignored the shit out of it.
So you didn't comment on what I said. You moved on to
because I said
point,
Udon, and then you made your comment, and I restated my comment.
Well, what happened? What are you talking about?
I said 2 arcs in a row. He's been running away from Big Mom.
Let's pay you when I get paid. Who? Luffy?
Yes.
No. Well, see, that was the problem that I had with that prison scene. Okay, Big Mom literally could not hurt him. So there was no point in him running away from her in Udon. She had no hockey.
Still dipping.
Scared.
So that was stupid. That was dumb.
Whether it
he
was
keep
dumb or not,
telling
it
this
happened.
bitch, I'm not here to fight you. He on this island to fight a whole nother motherfucker. And who come knocking? Big Mom. Why? Because she mad she got.
Bro, he stood up to her, got thrown into a wall, and after that, he was like, I want 0 smoke.
Exactly. I want 0 smoke. He ran away like a punk.
And you cannot tell me that that's not facts.
Or some bomb fell on her head and she got locked up.
I mean, Queen put in that work, man. Queen had the plan. Yeah, he came from the top rope. Listen, I can't hate Queen. I love him. I can't. He's so funny. He's just fun.
All right,
I like
Virgo,
goofy
I'm out of here. I'll
things.
catch
I
you.
like goofy shit.
All right, bro.
Like, and he's like, yo, wrap her up, hit her with 100 tranquilizers, and let's go to Kaido. I'm like, bro, this guy dips so fast. Like, Luffy is free, dude. Like, did you forget? Like, he panicked. He's so funny, man. I'm sorry. Funk, we out here.
Shit, Hans lucky he left. I was finna start singing. 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row. No, damn well he was dipping. But that's neither here nor there. But I really love the chapter, man. I'm excited for what we have in these coming weeks. Unfortunately, we're on break, so we will not be getting one in the next couple days. But this gives us time to speculate. I've seen Brago's already been doing videos upon videos about this chapter. I'm sure you're gonna do the same, guys.
I'm supposed to do one, but
I was gonna do a review with JD. I might do something a little different than a review. I might do a bit more speculation because
that's good.
It's interesting with Big Mom and Kaido finally meeting and him freeing her, which is a bit different of an aspect I thought he was gonna take to this approach. Some things are gonna happen, and it does seem very likely that an alliance might be formed.
Like old times.
Roni is
That's
trolling
what Big
in the
Mom
chat.
said. Just like old times.
Mo Gamer said the question is, does Big Mom still intend to feed the nice people? Absolutely not. She called them dirty the moment she got her mind back. Let's see what the chat saying. Chat seems to add a couple questions. Yes, Santos 2 arcs in a row. 2 arcs in a row. We have multiple fleet members there, and chapters after that, even Blackbeard knows, so we can assume. Oh, please discuss the possibility that Moria may have escaped from Blackbeard. I mean, he went off in his own accord calling him out. Escape seems very slim.
Nah.
Well,
he can't do it twice. He already did a Marine Force.
That's the only reason why I was gonna say there's a precedent for him doing it. He got it from Dofi, so I don't know if it's crazy if he does it, but
wasn't Absalom a factor in that?
I feel like he shouldn't be able to, but
Absalom was a factor in that, wasn't he?
We don't know how he got away.
It's safe to assume, considering
I thought he
turned rocket launchers invisible.
Wherever Doppelman was, I just assumed he switched with him, some shit like that. I don't know.
Oh, bet. Gerson Rivera 21 said, y'all think if Kaido commanders team up, they could beat a Yonko? Probably not.
Nope.
Commanders? No.
All 3 calamities against either one of them, I think they lose.
Calamities, right? No.
If he had 2 kings on his crew, maybe, but he only has 1 king, so no.
I still say no.
And we don't even know how much stronger King is than the other 2.
Not working.
If they were all queens, maybe.
3 Brachio bombers in a row. Let's go.
I mean, it's not even like King could.
No, the Brachio bomber's not gonna do
the person
shit.
under him, that's a calamity. You know what I mean? So it's like
Amistad.
Oh wait, actually, yes, they can, because the poison Shanks is just a human. Poison can definitely affect Shanks.
Wait, is Kev Curry said, "Yo, Virgo, do you think there's gonna be a ship in One Piece called the Amistad? That's famous ship. What is that from?
The Amistad?
The Amistad.
Bro, that's a slave ship.
Oh fuck!
That's from the slave movie.
Yeah, that's how you got here, Virgo.
What's his name? It was Diamond Hansun. That was his breakout role. With Amistad.
Oh my god, that's the
Maybe that's where all the Black One Piece characters at. He's on the boat.
Oh my god, motherfucking Amistad, bro. Like y'all motherfuckers. Oh my, the triangle passage and shit, bro. Why did I look at that question? I got.
Why you think the brothers ain't show up at the river? You had King Taco though. You had the Russians though.
So we ain't had a King of Kool-Aid pull up in the Amistad.
That would have been mega racist.
King Watermelon and shit.
The
King Watermelon. Oh,
black dude. Oh man, I would have been.
Hey, what if King is black? I like that. I like that.
Bruh.
Man,
Is the King actually black though?
If it was a nigga under that mask, bro, I'm fucking dead.
Oh wait, that's not his
And
kid?
he's the last of his race too? Bro, that's messed up. That's messed up if he's the last of his race and he's black.
Oh my god.
I'm dying.
Kev Curry said it's gonna be a celestial dragon ship. Stop.
Yeah, why do I feel like that's like some like vampire or something that was a slave and he like hates white people or something?
Oh my God! Last of his race and he black. I'm weak. Oh fuck! It's Toddy.
Oh, I didn't mean to show my face.
What's up, Toddy? Santos said, "Yo, that white dude just said nigga. He's black." Santos.
Who said that? Who said that shit?
Santos.
Yeah, you done. Oh shit, I can't even ban him.
Who's white in here besides
You
Eris?
thought Eris was.
I'll have you know, I am
How do you have
not only white,
you
my
can always
friend.
say nig.
I am 14% white.
Wow.
Well, gay's not a race.
Bet. All right.
Yeah, no.
Damn. All right. Toddy, what's the good chapter,
I'm
man?
just kidding.
Todd.
Huh?
What did you think of the chapter?
Did you call me Todd?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he called you
You
Todd.
sound like my mom.
You know.
I actually thought it was really good. Now, normally I know I'm a stickler for like not much happening, and truth be told, not too much happened this chapter. But it was just really well done. It was really good storytelling. It actually like got me somewhat invested in the lore of Wano. But then the end happened. The end kind of threw it off, man. I got mixed feelings about it.
That was fire.
The end? What?
That's the best part.
I mean,
But that's because y'all niggas like clashes.
No, Toddy anticipated Big Mom sending him flying. That's why he didn't like it.
Yeah.
Well, nigga, we haven't seen what happened after the sword slash, so don't say that's out of the question yet.
Oh my God.
The first panel of the next chapter could be Wada or Kaido flying up to Skypiea. We don't know.
That's
Nigga.
how Kaido knocks fodder out.
hard R.
I did not hard R.
Yeah, Virgo, you gotta chill. You can't be doing that.
I did not
we
hard
live right
R.
now.
Coon.
But the reason I have mixed feelings about it is because while like of course
you're
I'm
a
hype
mixed
about
child?
two Yonkos clashing, anybody would be hype about that. But I think I don't think it makes any sense why he would release her from her chains and then attack her. That was just weird to me. That makes no sense logically. And then also, I know Oda is known for writing retardedness. And I'm so afraid he's going to ruin Mama forever with the outcome of this clash.
What's up? Anime called her Win-Win. Yo, I always thought Bad D Uncle Ruju. Whitebeard didn't care for becoming a pirate, and Shiki only got cucked because of luck. Oh wow. 9 out of 10. 8.5. I mean, I thought it was a 9 out of 10. I liked it. Good comedy. That shit where Robin and Usopp changed their face was funny as fuck.
What was?
Shiki got caught because of luck. He went to Marine for like an ape and ran into Garp and fucking Sengoku. That's what he gets.
I just saw that comment too.
Hold on, Virgo. What was funny about this chapter?
He's an ape. Why do
What
you
was
do that?
funny when there were the Wonder posters of Robin and Usopp, and then they made that troll face to get by.
Aren't you in your 20s? That's funny. If you think that's funny, I gotta introduce you to Dave Chappelle. Man.
Okay,
That
was funny. What's wrong
I
with
thought
you?
it was funny, but I like goofy shit like that. So
Yeah,
I am 6. So
I mean,
did y'all honestly laugh out loud when you
there
saw
is
those?
I did.
There's literal footage of me busting out of laughter.
I chuckled.
Wow.
There actually is footage of you doing that.
So when there, I'll make the face to get by. So the water poster part, I was dying of laughter. But like I said,
Toddy, I think you just forcing it.
I showed my niece, who's in 6th grade, those one
like
posters.
now
and she
niggas
said it was corny.
can't laugh at panels.
Tom,
Like fuck.
if that's not funny whatsoever, what was the last funny scene in One Piece that you remember?
Mama losing her memories.
The Marienda? You said the Marienda?
That wasn't funny.
I thought it was funny that an author so well reclaimed would write such trash.
This nigga is such a troll, bro.
I busted out laughing.
My bad, we're only done. You good? My fault.
And I think that's just kind of
What are we
their
talking about?
gag, sort of say. That's like his gag. A lot of characters have gags, and that's his gag. He has to lay on his back and eat donuts.
Yeah, I know. And honestly, the gags at first were like really funny. I think the last like One Piece gag that really made me legitimately laugh was when Luffy pushed the zombie back into the ground during Thriller.
That's a long time ago.
But I don't know. I've been reading One Piece for I think it's 15 years now. So like the whole goofiness or whatever kind of lost its touch on me.
No, I still be laughing.
I mean, like it has to be placed at the right time. It can't just be thrown in there.
There was a point where I've missed the comedy because I felt like he wasn't doing enough of it. Which is the nature of the beast of a longer running shonen, battle shonen, even if it's like dressed in some comedy, when it's gonna get more serious naturally. Which is
I was laughing at Queen and Udon. That man funny as hell.
Queen got me rolling.
Man, Queen's dance.
He's like
Queen was jocking on these
things or whatever. He's like, yo, Luffy trying to escape over the wall. He's like, yo, stop that, man. Like, what are you doing? That shit had me weak.
I think the funniest thing about Queen is just like the way he talks so much shit. Like when we first met him, he was talking shit. Okay, King was talking shit too, right? And then further on, and fucking Udon, nah, you ain't getting no Shiriko, bitch. This all mine. You ain't getting shit.
Yo,
Like he just talks mad shit. Like even right now, like he's talking shit to Big Mom. Like he's talking shit to Jack. He just talks a lot of shit. I think that's the funniest thing about him.
I like how he was reacting with the father, but he's not on their level. Like he's
At all.
throwing
Like, he will watch all of them.
I'm having a good time. That's all I care about.
Hey,
my enjoyment.
I liked how he got knocked out by Mama.
Hey, he high-key did it in the prison too. Remember, Luffy's escaping right now. He's climbing up the wall. He's like, whoa.
No, first it's like kid escape. What? Then it was something else. And Luffy's trying to come over the wall right now. He's like,
that was funny, man.
He was like, too much shit going on.
He was sitting there all casual. I'm pretty sure like his fucking knuckles just on his cheek. He was chilling. He's like, so hit me with the news, you know?
Yeah.
What? That happened too? What the fuck?
He was like, what the fuck are y'all niggas doing? I can't do everything.
Keep quiet.
It's not about raining on the parade. I mean, comedy is subjective. If you don't think it's funny, you think it's funny.
I mean,
it is what it is.
Don't worry. I mean, he's only 30 years old.
It's not that deep.
This nigga
like a lot of people are like really serious shit. I like my shit just like JoJo goofy, over the top.
I like my shit brown.
JoJo did comedy really well.
That's just
like
how I am.
Legit jokes in JoJo.
And then like Kuniko,
the whole drawing funny faces.
I like my shit solid.
I like my shit goofy.
Wait, so I mean, like, yeah, Luffy's still funny, and I like that he's still like his old self. You know, he's always gonna be that kid. Like when Caribou, he's like, "Can I join?" Fine, you can join. You know, you're gonna be good like, now. Yeah, you're in. Like
Caribou's like, I'm scared, bro.
And he was like, why he forget me so fast?
Pre-skip vibes, man. He's still the same Luffy.
Spoke his mind out his head. He's like, fuck.
Because that's the same. That's the same moment like when Law was just like, yo, getting the lions. He's like, I trust him. To Robin. Robin was like, what the fuck?
He's fighting Katakuri. I'm hungry. Why'd you say that? Because Riley told me if I yell out what's on my mind, I'll feel better.
I mean, maybe I should say this. I don't think One Piece's comedy is bad. I don't think One Piece's comedy is bad, but I have been reading One Piece longer than most of Virgo's live chat's been alive. So I think I'm so used to it that
maybe to get to say
it doesn't hit me like it used to.
Can you not insult someone every other sentence?
Huh?
He called their chat new niggas. That's crazy.
All of them are over 18.
I don't believe that.
What?
It's a damn lie.
Have you seen how emotional they get when we say a One Piece chapter wasn't good? There's no way all of them are over 18.
We be emotional when we say it's good. So what's your point?
Is literally the best piece of literature ever written.
Hey, speak on it.
Yeah, Lucid's right here. That nigga's 14 and a half.
Oh my god.
Okay.
He said okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh, what's
that
up,
nigga's
ladies?
15 years coming up.
Also, why is everyone dodging the fact that Kaido ain't human? I mean, is he?
Is he?
Or is he not?
Because he's one of Big Mom's homies.
He's not human.
He's a homie.
Wouldn't he be the same race as Magellan since he has those horns? Same with
No, they said Magellan's human.
Hey, how you be saying that shit, Magellan?
They said Morgan is human.
No fruit.
Magellan.
Taekwon, my channel is not for the motherfucking kids, motherfucker.
He's lying.
Shut up, nigga.
Is Moria a human?
We Disney.
Fuck
I think so.
You think Moria's a
Hey,
human?
JD, speak before I kick you.
I mean, there's a lot of weird looking people that are kind of human. So, I mean, is
You mean like Fuku Rakoju?
You got look at his teeth.
I thought he was a fisherman.
No, you didn't.
What I
Not
thought was really
Fuku,
interesting
Fuku Rakoju.
about this chapter. Oh my bad, I didn't mean to switch gears.
You're good.
What I thought was really interesting about this chapter was they did introduce King as being of a new race that we've never seen before. That implies to me that we're going to get some details on that, and like we're going to get to know that race a little bit more, which implies another arc that I didn't see coming. Because I honestly thought we were kind of approaching the finish line with One Piece, and we still got Elbaf and the war. Apparently, we're going to probably get some kind of arc that involves these, mask wearing niggas or whatever.
Hashtag we need a moon arc.
I don't
This
know because
nigga-
like
y'all
they're
niggas
supposed to be
moon, man.
all out. It's
Why
not
motherfuckers
even a
wanna go
lot
to the moon?
left.
Inject it. Give me the moon arc.
But they can't introduce King as like a new race and then not kind of explore that, right?
Yeah, they totally
I mean,
could.
if we go to his homeland, ain't gonna be like 30 kings walking around. Like ain't many left, right?
What about 29?
No, I don't think so.
I really don't want another arc. I kind of want it just to be Elbaf, then the war, and then Raftel. Hopefully, wherever King's from is on, like, I don't know,
Man,
in a
the
forest on Wano, so we can knock it out in one chapter.
Moon arc gonna hit different.
Green bit.
Going back to Green Bit.
Going back to Green Bit.
I mean, I'm just saying in the fashion as Dressrosa, where the Tantatas were,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want a whole arc devoted towards the King type people. I really want to see this series, like, reach its climax.
I just
You might
wanted
have
to
to
end
wait
the
a
way
few more
Oda
years,
wants it to
buddy.
end.
What? Y'all talked at the same time. What'd you say?
What?
Y'all
Did you
talked
say
at
you
the
wanted
same
to
time.
end when Oda wants it to end?
I said we might have to wait a few years.
If you wanted it to end when Oda
For
wants
sure.
it to end, it would have ended 5 years ago. Because Oda, from what he's like, been,
that's what
what
he
his
thought
editors
was
have
gonna
been
happen.
putting out.
That's what he thought. He's like, he's an ape for being that off.
Well, I feel like it's more Oda's editors kind of forcing him to drag stuff out rather than Oda not wanting to wrap up the stories.
That's all conjecture.
himself.
There's no actual evidence for that. That's just conjecture.
I mean, he's given projections.
People
of
say
where he
that about
wants
the
the
Frieza thing.
series to go.
That wasn't true.
He what?
People say that about the Frieza arc. That wasn't true though.
But didn't his editors imply that the series was 70% over like years ago?
Editors, what is editors? They're apes. They don't know shit. Well, nothing.
Yeah, I hate when people discredit everything the editors say, like they ain't the closest people to the author.
But it's like Oda could change anything in his mind on a whim. He introduced the supernova like a chapter before. Like he didn't have.
You don't think Oda's getting tired of this? You see how many breaks we've been getting in the last couple of years? I think Oda's getting worn out.
I don't think he's getting tired. I don't know though.
He's talked about how this is his favorite arc he's been waiting to do, so he's not tired.
That's true. That's true. Japan out.
Yeah, this
yeah.
arc been around a long time.
Yeah, this arc's been going a minute. I kind of miss Whole Cake.
Yo,
But however, he is still obviously he's still chiming in shit in this arc as he does every arc. So like just like fresh stuff, Like did he anticipate Killer becoming a pleasure? No, but hey, he's a pleasure now, and that was great. So
I wonder if he honestly planned Mama getting amnesia like years ago, or if that was something he just came up with on the spot.
Either way,
he had to know that was a reach.
I mean, he's on record saying that Wano didn't start the way that he had initially visualized it. So some of this stuff could just be spur of the moment, and that's why it might feel a little out of balance at times.
But that happens, man. That's just that's part of the process. If you ever written anything, that sometimes in the moment you just have an idea and you're like, damn, I'm putting it in there. You just do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, George R. R. Martin said it best. He said his favorite stories are garden stories where you plant the seed, like you have a general idea, and as you're writing the story kind of just grows from what you're writing. And I feel like Oda's probably that kind of storyteller. I would be really interested if, like, a couple years down the line, mind if Oda did like a behind the scenes type thing where he actually went into detail about stuff like I wasn't planning on this happening or I had this idea when this happened. Just
I
to kind
really
of get
hope
some
he does
insight
that. Just
on,
like a
on
whole
some of
like
these scenes.
Have you
a
heard of the
monologue
Vehicle
about
cards?
that. That would
'Cause
be
he's
great.
doing
Or the
that.
Q&A like that. That would be awesome.
I can't wait to see him say like, man, when I wrote Marienda, I was on 3 Xanaxes and half a bottle of Henny down.
I was off the shits. When Big Mom got amnesia, I had roofied myself and gave myself amnesia.
Hey, I think that was chapter 900 when he did that on Bad End Music on Bad End Musical.
And he probably took 900 milligrams of some fucking Molly.
Yeah.
Type shit. But all right, man. I think I'm gonna close it down.
Damn, I just got in here. Did I miss any highlights?
All right, you got something to say, man. We go ahead and keep it going. I didn't have any more topics. That's why.
No, I mean, don't keep it going just for me.
No, I mean, if y'all want to keep on talking, we can keep talking. I don't have to go anywhere.
He said he out of topics. All he asked us was, "What you think about the chapter?"
I said several different things.
To talk about. Number one was,
I named like 10 different things. Stop it. That was the first question I asked you when you initially joined.
Who gives a fuck about heat and wire?
I do. JD, I haven't asked you yet. What do you think about the chapter, my guy?
I care.
Do you guys think there's anyone else that's not a Yonko? Any two people that could clash and split the sky? I mean,
only two. Only two.
Who?
And I'm really confident that it's only M and Kong.
Well, for a fact, they gotta have the
Who
king.
and Kong?
M and Kong.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Y'all niggas keep sleeping on Kong. I cannot wait till he pops on the scene, and all y'all niggas can kiss my ass for how strong he is.
And how long have you been saying that?
Nigga, since he was introduced
Hey,
back in
Taekwon is actually
2027.
Hey, Taekwon is actually making some sense
that's
right
almost
now.
young.
Taekwon said he's not gonna do that. Oda won't do that because that will destroy his story. He's not gonna do that just because people will start talking shit afterwards, and that's kind of true.
What? Why would he introduce somebody that's in such a high position in the government that looks
I was talking about
that is clearly Garb's father?
I was talking about him getting interviewed.
Oh no!
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, no. JD.
Somebody said
y'all act like Luffy's great grandpa ain't gonna be strong as hell.
Bro, literally, you got it all wrong, Toddy. He introduced Imu one chapter after he introduced Shanks from behind with a dark cloak and a hood on it. Imu came through with a dark cloak and a hood on it. Imu is Shanks. And in the anime, Imu has Hawkeyes. Bro, Shanks' rival has Hawkeyes. Imu is Shanks.
All right, Virgo, you can end the stream.
Yeah.
I like so. I fucked with Lucy though. He said it with so much conviction.
He really did, with a lot of confidence too.
He definitely can.
Because Imu is Shanks.
Well, here's the thing, guys. Big Mom has hair. So does Shanks. So they are the same person.
Are we doing this right now?
No.
Is that the energy?
No. I'm just saying. Shanks pulled up to Mary Jo's in a dark cloak, and then Imu, this new guy, shown in a dark cloak. Imu is Shanks.
Big Mom has a sword. Shanks has a sword. Big Mom is Shanks.
My heart rate is lowering right now. It's wild.
No.
But
Crocodile for Pie King. Thank you for
Kizaru, and don't forget, Kizaru is Vegapunk.
Can somebody in the chat make a Photoshop of Kaido with black Air Forces, please?
Kaido does not wear black Air Forces. He's too much of a bitch to wear black Air Forces.
Wait, how come
doesn't he wear moccasins?
How come it's a bitch?
He wears loafers.
Because when Big Mom first pulled up, he said we're not ready for her.
Yeah, I don't know why Kaido wearing Mihawk heels anyways, for real.
Well, it doesn't really matter what he wears now because after the next chapter, he's going to be wearing casts all over his body.
Oh my God!
That's a big fact.
So, oh, by the way, Virgo, I meant to mention this. Why don't you do these chapter review streams like closer to after the chapter? Because you always do it like when I done forgot half the chapter.
Well, the reason being is because they took away Google Hangouts from YouTube. So at their end, I had to find a new method, which was this OBS Streamlabs method, which I just was able to figure out 2 hours ago.
Everyone still comes to watch. It don't matter.
So yeah.
You
But, it's all
guys
good, but it worked out this time because there's a break this week.
usually
Yo, fuck it. Just do a One Piece spoilers reaction. Fuck it.
Usually when we stream, it's you all the same amount of numbers. No matter when you stream.
Naya said we all about doing numbers around here, huh?
I'm
Naya,
literally
and
giving.
Naya, I'm tired of you crunching my numbers
Oh,
too.
okay.
Giving
See,
you prop rape.
see, that's
I
how
know
the
you are.
Virgo
Just messing
changed. At
with you.
first, he used to be like, "Oh, I do this for fun." Now he talk about numbers. See,
No,
they
no,
always
first
change. They always
Right, this
switch
nigga
up.
son
wait.
changed.
Don't get it twisted. I do
Oh.
it for fun. YouTube is a blast. I don't do this to do numbers or nothing like that. Okay.
Okay,
I'm
Virgo.
just- all right.
Virgo. No, you don't have to lie to me, Virgo. Okay.
Oh my
Did y'all know
God.
that Virgo makes me PayPal him $5 to get the Hangout link?
That is a
Does he
lie.
do that with y'all?
Oh.
That is a
Why do you
lie.
charge him
It's only-
5, but
it's
you
only-
charge me 6,
It's
Virgo?
only
What the
5.
fuck?
Yeah, what the? He's charging me 10.
I'm
Y'all
I'm
are
out.
trolls.
And he tried to get me for some news.
What?
Okay,
All right.
yeah. You
Now
see,
I'm
you
gonna end
pushed
the
it.
stream.
Yeah, that's just you. He asked me that.
Thank y'all
I
for
think you
coming
just said
through.
news.
No, I did not ask for his news. No, they did not pay me to get on stream. All right, this is not.
I don't
King
know
of
why
Legends.
you asked
So
for
then-
it.
so
Can't
then
you just
wait,
ask
so
for
then-
it? Can't
why
you
you
just
crossing
ask
your
for
fingers,
girlfriend?
So then wait, if we didn't pay you to get on stream, what the hell did we pay you for?
Like and subscribe. I hope y'all enjoy this
We
chapter.
paid-
Y'all have a
Oh,
wonderful
yes,
day.
you have to pay him to like and subscribe.
Bye-bye.
Crazy.
Right.